Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this meeting of the Falls Township Zoning Hearing Board. If we can now, everyone in person or who cares to, stand up and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Some board introductions here. Doug Mole, to my right. Al Brooks, over there to the left. Our solicitor, Keith Billingmeyer. Joining us remotely is Scott Dioria, our board secretary, and Ed Neubauer and Matt Takita from the Township. Will be chiming in, possibly. We're going to take care of a couple continuance matters and a withdrawal before we get to the rest of our agenda. Received a letter from the office of Bryce H. McGuigan. Dear Mr. Takita, please be advised the application in the above reference matter has retained my office with respect to the upcoming zoning hearing board, scheduled to be held tomorrow, October 12th, 2021. Following conversations with the Township Solicitor's Office, please allow this correspondence to serve as formal confirmation that Allstate Auto Sales is withdrawing its pending zoning hearing board application. So that was for petition number 4, Allstate Auto Sales. Anybody here for that? That application has been withdrawn, and we are promised that a new application will be submitted instead. Also, we have received letter for a continuance on the petition for Goat Logistics, petition number 3. That was continued from the September 14th meeting, August 10th, July 13th, and June 8th. The solicitor is informing you that the owners of Goat Logistics would like to request that you waive this applicable time requirements for the township has to conduct hearing on the application pursuant to the MPC and our township code. So this is Goat Logistics. They've been asking us to continue this matter until they finally withdraw after this month. So at this point, I'd like to see if we have a motion to accept the continuance for Goat Logistics.
I'll make that.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so petition number 3 is continued until the November 9th meeting. Okay. And we'll go back on to everybody that's in the house, hopefully. Petition number 1, Remede Wellness? Did I say that right? Thank you so much. 791 Bridge Street, Morrisville, PA, 19067, Zone Highway Commercial. Requesting a dimensional variance to allow installation of a wall sign, which is approximately 87.34, where 32 square feet is maximum allowed. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening. You'd like to have your witness sworn in?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Greg Berger with me.
Excellent.
I do. Greg Berger, G-R-E-G-B-E-R-G-E-R.
Good evening, Mr. McGinnis. So we'll, you want to ask him for service? You want to start?
I got it already.
Okay, great. So we're going to mark the exhibits for the petition. We'll turn it over to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, we'll mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as ZHB1, along with the accompanying statement. 2 will be a rendering of the proposed sign. 3 is notice to the applicant's attorney, Mr. McGinnis, dated October 1st, 2021. 4 will be 4 color photographs, one of which shows that the property was posted as required. 5 will be proof of publication in the Bucks County Courier-Times, showing this matter was published September 28th, and then again October 5th, 2021. I've been previously handed a certification of service from Mr. McGinnis. If you don't have any other exhibits, Mr. McGinnis, I can mark this as A1.
Yes, that's very good. Thank you.
All right. And all the attached property owners received a copy of the letter that's in this packet, and that letter is dated September 28th.
That's correct.
All right. Mr. Chairman, I'm satisfied the appropriate notice has been satisfied. This matter can proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Billingmeyer. Mr. McGinnis, all you.
Thank you. Good evening. Mike McGinnis from Begley Carlin here tonight. I do also, Mr. Bidley-Meyer, I don't think this needs to be distributed because I believe the board members have this, but that is a visual depiction of the sign that we're here proposing tonight.
That's ZHB2.
Very good. The applicant in this matter is Remede Wellness. I did get that wrong myself a couple of times, and I realized Remedy made a lot more sense than Remede did for the nature of the business, so I corrected myself. Remedy operates a gym and wellness center at the location. The property is zoned HC, and we're here for one variance tonight, and that is if you are on Lincoln Highway driving in this property, the building is kind of irregularly shaped in that the front door is not facing Lincoln Highway, but there is a portion of what I'm describing as the side of the building, which is where we're proposing this sign to be located. As I think the board is aware, the sign regulations in the township restrict the overall square footage of a sign such as this, a wall sign, to be 32 square feet. I think if anyone is familiar with this site, that is difficult when you drive by to provide adequate advertising. There are no freestanding signs on site, so this is really the mechanism that Remedy is planning to utilize to attract customers to the location. So the package in front of you depicts a sign which would be about 87.34 square feet in area, and we think this is consistent with other signs approved in the township. So we are asking for the singular variance tonight. And then just briefly, Mr. Berger's here with me, who was sworn in. If we could just give a couple minutes of background about Remedy and why we're seeking the variance.
Excellent, yeah.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Berger. Can you please state your name?
Greg Berger?
Okay, and you're the operations officer for Remede Wellness, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, and you're the lessee of the subject property, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been located at this site?
Since about May of this year. May of this year, I believe.
Okay, and just briefly, can you explain who Remedy is as a company?
Sure. We're actually a division of a larger company based out of Bensalem, but this is a new venture that we started recently. We opened up a facility in Langhorne probably about 2 years ago that's really taken off. They promote, total wellness, whether it's working out with supplements, just a healthy lifestyle. So it's been very successful there, and we're looking to branch into the Morrisville area now. And as Mike said, the building is it's just a little bit of a different design the way it lays out on the street there. So we're just looking for a little bit of help in trying to maximize the exposure to the traffic going by.
Okay, and we provided an exhibit to the board that I referenced, and that picture is a depiction of the sign plan that we have proposed tonight, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and as you stated, this would be located on the portion of the building that is fronting Lincoln Highway, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and there's no freestanding signage on site, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, and then it's an R logo with Wellness Center is the verbiage with the sign, correct?
Yes.
Okay, no other words, symbols, pictures with this?
No.
Okay, and there's not gonna be flashing lights or anything that's gonna be a distraction from a vehicular standpoint, correct?
No, not at all.
Okay. Any reason why any backlighting on the site would be problematic or distracting to any of the surrounding properties?
Not that I can see, no.
Okay, and then we're here for an 87 square foot sign, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And no reason that you're aware of that this would negatively impact any of the businesses or properties?
No, not at all.
All right, and you think this is important for advertising for any customer traffic that drives by on Lincoln Highway?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I have nothing further, Mr. Berger.
Thank you, Mr. McGinnis.
Thank you.
I'll open it up for board questions now for Mr. Berger.
Yes.
Excellent. Doug?
I have none at this time.
Scott?
No, I see what they're trying to do. It's all clear. Thank you.
Yep. Al?
No, I have no.
This is the old CrossFit yards, right?
That's correct.
Cool. Yeah, I have no questions. This is the smaller, right, this ZHB2 packet? That's the smaller sign, so it'll be larger than that, right? It's more
Yes,
across the building.
yeah, it would be larger than that.
Yeah, I think it'd be hard to see. It's pretty, I mean, I know Bridge Street has a traffic, you're not supposed to be going too fast, but most people are picking up speed by the time they get to your building, so.
Absolutely.
If you're traveling, coming in one direction, you can't.
Yeah,
see
if you're
anything.
coming into Barsville, you can't really
Correct.
get a good look at it anyway.
Yeah.
And going out, people are already going slow, then gas it right there, so. They shouldn't have. Any public comments, questions?
No public comment.
Okay. Matt, anything received to the township that we should know about?
Nothing from the township.
Okay, great. Mr. McGinnis, anything close?
That is all I have, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion. I move that the application of Remedy Wellness requesting a dimensional variance from section 209-45Q, parens 5B of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to allow the installation of a wall sign which is approximately 87.34 square feet, where 32 square feet is the maximum allowed at the property located at 791 West Bridge Street, Morrisville, Pennsylvania, 19067, as depicted on the plans in accordance with testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Oh,
It's not on.
your mic was on. Did you pick it?
Everybody else got it.
Was that all picked up?
We got it, we got it.
Okay, great, thank you. Karen, you got it, right? Okay, great. All right, Scott, if you could pull the board, please?
Myself, yes. Doug,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
and Dan.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yep,
Thank
yep.
you.
Good luck, Mr. Berger.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one. Okay, bring us to petition number 2, Britton Realty of Morrisville, LLC, MY Lane, Morrisville, PA. Zone Highway Industrial, Heavy Industrial, sorry. Requesting the following dimensional variances for construction of a building to permit a front yard setback and 52.67 feet instead of 100 feet, to allow parking to be 5 feet from the street line instead of 30 feet. Our in-house counsel tonight is Mr. McGinnis.
Good evening.
Good
Mike
evening,
Mc-
sir.
Mike McGinnis here on behalf of Britton Industries. And then we can have Dan Carr and Mr. Dumack sworn in, and I will hold this for.
Excellent.
We got a easel on the other side of the TV.
Yeah, I didn't want to mess, I apologize, I didn't want to mess with
No problem.
you're fine.
I'd be afraid of it too.
Yes, ma'am. Keith Dumack, D-U-M-A-C-K. First name, second name.
All right, Mr. McGinnis, we'll begin to mark the exhibits for your petition.
Very good.
Excellent.
Mr. Chairman, we'll mark the application for zoning ordinance appeal as ZHB 1, along with the accompanying statement. 2 will be notice to applicant's attorney, Mr. McGinnis, dated October 1st, in regards to tonight's meeting. 3 will be 5 pages containing 5 colored photographs, one of which shows that the property was posted as required. 4 is a zoning plan. And 5 will be the proof of publication in the Bucks County Courier Times, showing this matter was published September 28th, then again October 5th, 2021. That is all the board exhibits. I've been previously handed a packet from Mr. McGinnis. Top page state certification of service. And Mr. McGinnis, the property owners attached on the last sheet received a copy of the letter that's dated September 28th in your packet.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chairman, I'm satisfied with the appropriate notice. I've been satisfied. This matter can proceed.
Great, thanks, Mr. Billingmeyer. Mr. McGinnis?
All right, good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Here on behalf of Britton Industries, who's the applicant in this matter and the landlord actually in the prior matter, so it's very convenient tonight. The subject property is located at My Lane in Morrisville. The site, we were, I guess I'll note as a housekeeping item, at some point last year, I believe we appeared in front of the board, so I think the board is fairly familiar with Britton's operations, and we discussed some of the environmental impacts and hard capping and different things. That's not why we're here tonight, but and certainly Mr. Carr can go back through a little refresher as to who Britton is, but I don't want to be unnecessarily redundant if we don't have to. This property is zoned HI. The application really pertains to the replacing of a building which was destroyed in a fire, and the relocation of the structure, as Mr. Dumack I think will depict in a minute, is a bit closer to My Lane than the old structure, and because of the relocation in this area, it's necessitating the 2 variances which we're seeking. So in particular, the first variance is from section 209-25 29H1 to permit a front yard setback of 52.67 feet instead of the 100 feet that's otherwise required. And then the second variance is from Table 5 to allow parking to be located 5 feet from the street line instead of the required 30 feet. And we'll have Mr. Carr just testify briefly as to why the building's being relocated, some of the other aspects of this project which are occurring. I'll just note that there's going to be an overall reduction of square footage on the site with this plan, and we'll get into that, and then how this building is going to be utilized. And then I have prepared testimony for Mr. Dumack, but I might state or suggest at the end, certainly have Mr. Carr testify, and then if there's any technical questions, he can answer them if that's the board's preference as well.
Yeah, I concur, thank you.
Very good. All right, good evening, Mr. Carr.
Good evening.
All right, can you please state your name for the record?
Dan Carr,
Okay, and what is your role with Britton Realty?
Vice President, General Manager of Britton Industries.
Okay, and just very briefly, can you do a little bit of a summary about who Britton is and what you're doing on the subject
Sure.
property?
So we operate recycling centers for wood and soil products. The property in MY Lane serves as one of those facilities, but it also serves as our corporate headquarters, and we have our maintenance facility on that property too. Unfortunately, the building that burned in August housed both our offices and our maintenance shop. Fortunately for us, we'd outgrown the office, so we had a modular office unit next to the building that burned, and we were able to temporarily squeeze everybody into that modular unit until we can rebuild. So we want to replace both the shop and the offices with a new structure.
All right, and that's what's necessitating our variance, the construction of this new building, which is going to be a bit closer to the property line.
Correct.
All right, and just briefly, I made the representation that there's other structures that are being eliminated on this
Yes.
property. Can you give a brief summary to the board of that?
Yes, well, obviously, the building that burned will be eliminated. There's a building that overlaps the footprint of the new building, which will be eliminated. There's a defunct building which has been there since we've had the property along Route 1, which will be eliminated, and of course, a modular office unit, which we're housing right now, which will also be eliminated.
And the defunct building, I think actually that Mr. Dumack's pointing out, that building is actually closer to my lane than our
Correct.
proposed building already, right? So we're eliminating that structure, which is actually non-conforming in its present condition as part of this, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then, I know we've discussed, but in terms of the investment, I think there's an anticipation on your end that this is going to be a more corporate structure than what was there, a bit of an upgrade, if you can.
Correct. The building we're housing right now, or we're housing until it burned, was in the center of the property. It was there before we acquired the property. And it just, for people visiting the office, it's in the middle of the property. They have to go through processing and truck traffic and so forth. It's not a good location. By putting it up by MY Lane, it's more of a corporate setting, and people visiting us will, it'll just be a nicer setting, a more professional building for the property.
Okay. And briefly, from an operational functionality standpoint, what does this allow you to do by locating it to the front? What are you planning on doing to the rear?
It's gonna take the center of the property to house the old building, open it up. It'll make more efficient use of the property for truck parking, and just enable us to better utilize the acreage we have for the use we wanna use it for in processing and truck, and vehicle parking, and get, once again, the building we wanna house the corporate, office and the shop along the front of the property, which will open things up for us.
Okay, and we're also seeking to add parking to the, what I'm considering the front of the building closer to the street, is that correct?
Correct.
Which is necessitating the second variance, and that's in the area that Heath is showing on the plan.
Correct.
Okay. Is there any reason that you can think of why this would be detrimental to your operation or any of the surrounding parcels?
No.
Okay. And your business operation otherwise is gonna remain substantially similar?
It'll be the same.
Okay. And then we're presumably going to go through, if we receive the zoning variances tonight, the land development process and the other requirements that Mr. Takita and Mr. Jones and the rest of the township would require after this, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I have nothing additional for Mr. Carr, and as I said, Mr. Dumack is here, who's prepared the site plan, and certainly can address any technical questions regarding the layout.
Excellent, let's see what comes up.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll open up for board questions. Doug?
No, I'm good, Dan.
Al?
I have nothing, Dan.
Scott?
No, don't have anything, Dan.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Thanks for the concise plans. Any public comments, questions?
No public comment.
Thank you. Matt, anything received through the township about this petition?
Nothing from the township.
Okay, yeah. Anything else, Mr. McGinnis?
That is all I have. Thank you.
Excellent, okay. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make that motion, Dan.
Thanks.
I move the application of Britton Realty of Morrisville LLC requesting dimensional variances from the following section of the Falls Township zoning ordinance be granted to allow the construction of a building with a front yard setback of 52.67 feet instead of the required 100 feet, and section 20929G and table 5 to allow parking to be 5 feet from the street line instead of the required 30 feet. Section 20929H1 at the property located at M.Y. Lane, Morrisville, Pennsylvania, 19067 as depicted on the plans and in accordance with the testimony presented to the zoning hearing board.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Scott, pull the board, please.
Myself, yes. Doug,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
and Dan.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so
guys.
much.
Yep, have a great night.
Thanks, you
Thank
too.
you.
Great job, Dan.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, with that, any more business from the township here we need to take care of? Anyone? Keith, no? Good. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that
Do we
motion.
have a second? All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
See you.